This is a quick first orientation to the application SlideRocket, available from your Google Apps domain or by visiting SlideRocket.com. When you log into SlideRocket, the first screen that you'll be taken to is your dashboard, and it will list any of the existing presentations that you've been working on and also give you the ability to create a new one or to import PowerPoint slides. So once your account is established, it's very easy to start a new presentation. Just simply click the New button here right above the list of your presentations, and there you can choose a title for your presentation, pick a existing theme, or create your own theme with a series of clicks. One interesting thing about SlideRocket is that it also allows you to standardize an aspect ratio for your presentation, whether it be standard 4:3, which is similar to PowerPoint, or using widescreen, or if you're going to print your presentation, you could also orient it to print 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I'm going to choose 4:3 for this presentation, and I'm also going to choose one of the preset templates called Magnet, and then click OK. It'll take just a couple of seconds and start a third presentation for me here. It'll show you when it was last edited and who last edited it, if of course it was a group presentation. So then, very familiar screen here, much like PowerPoint. You can see the list of slides at the bottom. That's the equivalent of your slide sorter here, that as you add slides to your presentation, they will pop up here at the bottom as your thumbnail. On the left-hand side, you have a list of tools that you can add, elements, whether it be text or pictures, flash elements, shapes for drawing objects, charts and tables, and then of course plugins. And what's really nice is that you can actually add forms and polls now to your SlideRocket presentations that will enable your students to provide some feedback either for one another or for you on your presentations. Across the top you have a familiar file menu which has save commands, which you need to do manually. SlideRocket does not save your presentations automatically. You need to do that. Then from edit you have cut, copy, paste, and duplicate, copy slides. From the slide menu you have new slide or duplicate, delete, add to library, which is pretty nice. We'll get into that in some later videos. And then arrange elements. Again, that's move forward, move back for any of your objects, text boxes, or shapes. Tools, where you can add hyperlinks or hover tips for images, and then set some preferences here for the system. What's nice about SlideRocket being a Web 2.0 type of application is that you can also publish your work to the web. You can invite people to view your slides. You can have colleagues or students meet you online to present, and then you can also view any analytics about stats and track people that have visited your presentation and also who have taken your polls. So that's pretty nice. From the view menu you can view the show or play the elements, view the sorter, things like that you could usually do in PowerPoint. And then there's also help and contents that will help you run through some tutorials on SlideRocket. So that's across the top. And then on the right hand side, these are the slide properties or object properties, and they're dependent on what you are clicked on. Let me get rid of that little menu here. And so for now, since I'm not clicked on anything, it will show the slide properties. And so the slide properties over here to the right, it's a title slide, that's the type of slide. And it's in the theme called Magnet. The layout is title slide, and again, much like PowerPoint, you can click to change the layout to be a picture or title only, just simple text, any of the ones that you might be familiar with. Just by clicking on it, you can see it will change your layout. The background here you can choose from one of the themed backgrounds, or you can choose a simple color fill or gradient fill, or you can pick an image to fill the background with. And then transitions, the same as PowerPoint, you have a couple of options for transitions from one slide to another within your presentation. And then of course how those slides will be advanced, whether it's on a click or timed after a number of seconds. Or if you have a video or audio clip on your slide, do you want your slides to advance immediately after that? So that's pretty nice. So we've got one basic slide here now, and we can just come into the editor, double click to add either text or add a caption or a title. So I'll just put my first slide. And then we could double click to add sample text. We could come over and edit the image if we wanted to. And again, as you're clicking through these objects, you see over on the right hand side that panel changes based on what you have selected. So in this case, I'm clicked on an image, so it gives me the image properties. One of the nice things about SlideRocket as opposed to PowerPoint is that SlideRocket allows you to do opacity or transparency for any of the images that you add to your presentation. So if you wanted to make it a sort of wallpaper, or if you wanted it to be over the top of one of these other elements, it's kind of a watermark, you could change the opacity of that image and just very easily you could create something interesting with a little bit of depth there. Okay, and again, you have some fill options, and you also have some stroke options here for the outline for your image. Let me turn that opacity back up so you can see. And then just by double clicking on the stroke color, you can choose an appropriate stroke color for your image. Again, lending a little bit of professionalism, a little bit of more quality there to your presentation. So I'll put that back where it was. Just by clicking and dragging, you can move objects around the screen. As you can see, you can get over some of the object handles here to resize, and then the little lollipop shape here is rotate, as you saw me do before, and then scale from the corner, and those nice little grid lines pop up every once in a while to help you align the elements. One of the advantages of using SlideRocket over something like PowerPoint is that you can have these three nice elements down here in the bottom left-hand corner as a part of your presentation. First is comments, and comments would enable users or viewers of your presentation to write comments. This could be interesting in a classroom where you're giving a presentation and asking your students for feedback, or where students are giving presentations and asked to feedback on each other's presentations. You can add audio the same way that you would do with something like Screener or Screen Capture or Screencast-O-Matic or Camtasia. Certainly you could record voice narrations while your presentation is going on or while you're rehearsing it, and you can import existing audio from your library or from your hard drive as well. And then it allows you to sync or resync your audio to transitions if that's necessary. So just by clicking record, the Flash Player settings would ask for permission to record during your session. You can click allow, and then just by clicking record, if you had a built-in microphone or an external microphone, you could start the recording and rehearse your timings and go through your presentation recording audio that way. I'm just going to cancel that. And then the last thing that's nice and different is that there is a complete history for your presentation. And since I just started this presentation, it tells me there's no previous saved versions, but a history is created each time you save your presentation, which is pretty nice. So like Google Docs, it creates a revision history that if you get too far along in your revisions and you make a mistake but accidentally save, you can always go back a revision just by visiting your history. So let me exit this presentation and I will show you, again, there it prompts you to save. I'll show you that revision history. So it'll take a second to save here, and when I'm back on my presentations, I'll open another one that has several other slides to it. So before I do that, this is the dashboard for this particular presentation. So I could preview it or edit it, and this is where you can see the analytics for who's visited your presentation, the average time of view, how many invites you had sent, if you have a poll or a form there, how many responses are there, and then of course you can go through and view those. Let me just get back to one of my other presentations, and in this particular presentation you can see the history tab, and when I click on the history tab, what you'll see is that the last time it was edited was a couple of weeks ago, and then as I make additions or changes to that presentation, those historical sort of saves will be stacked here in line, and so you can see the changes that your presentation went through and click on one to restore it to that previous state. Under the presentation sort of dashboard here as well. A nice feature of SlideRocket is that it does have a download option, and one of the things we are always big fans of is having a backup for any of your presentations. And in this case, you could use SlideRocket from their desktop presenter. You can create a portable presentation on Windows and Mac, certainly. You could convert it to a PDF if you needed to, but again, some of the animations or transitions aren't going to be available there, or you could regress back to PowerPoint if needs be. So the nice thing about SlideRocket is that if you have elements you can present online and there's a reliable connection to the internet, you can present that way. Or if you're presenting in an area that doesn't have internet access, you could always take your presentation with you on a thumb drive. So adding some more features to SlideRocket, the best part that I've found is that it can also be a collaborative effort, much like Google Docs. So it creates a real Web 2.0 sort of environment for you and for your students. So by going to that presentation and looking at that presentation dashboard, you can click on the Share tab and see whether your presentation was published. You can invite people directly via email, and you can invite people to meet, where you would present online and have people attend your viewing, and you can also choose some simple playback settings if you needed to have people watch your presentation automatically. So that gives you a quick orientation, and look forward to part 2.